Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody out there, and welcome to Paradigm Chess30. We are excited today to be hosting a Elite Paradigm Chess30 Championship tournament, and we have the top Paradigm chess players in the world competing for this title today. So for those of you that are new to Paradigm Chess30, you will notice that we have bishops that look a little bit different on the board. They have wings and they are known as dragon bishops. Dragon bishops are able to move like a normal bishop, and then also it's combined with the movement of a Chinese horse. So it is able to move like a knight, but it cannot jump over pieces. So let's just have a look at the players that we do have competing in this tournament. We have the structure, of course, is a little bit different. We have 4 groups of 4 players, so that's 16 players that we are starting off with. And today we are playing a double round robin, but only the first 3 matches of each group. So we have 4 groups. In Group A we have FIDE Master Ben Hercules, we have Ali W, I think his handle is over here. We've got Lorenzo van Niekerk, and we also have Luto Mfazwe. So that's quite a tough Group A. We follow that up with Group B. Group B is International Master Watu Kubisi, we have Mondre, we have Candidate Master Kenny Willenberg, as well as Andrew Horn there from Chess Heroes. Group C then has International Master Ryan van Rensburg, International Master Donovan van der Heever, Sherwin Kleinsmith, and also Justin Lynch. Group D, ending off our group sections, is Craig Willenberg, Charlton Manyasta, Regan Palmer, and Gonzalo Rojo. So we have quite an exciting lineup, and I am so excited to see what these guys are going to be putting on the board, because we do not have any engines for Paradigm Chess30. What we do have is the best minds at this playing this today. So we're going to see what they are up to. I'm going to be switching between some of the games so we can see what is happening where. So at the moment we do have Rojito versus Coach Craig, so that is Gonzalo Rojo versus Craig Willenberg. And so of course the ratings over here are quite low, but we do have to remember that this is the rapid rating, and they've been playing mostly blitz. So we are looking at 2000 rated in their blitz, Paradigm Blitz, 2000 rated, as well as 1900. I think 1900 was the entry for this. Let me just have a look over here on this side. Somebody's trying to contact me. So we do have most of the players playing already. Okay, so let's focus on the game that we have here. So we have Rojito has developed one of his dragon bishops, and he does have a knight in the middle of the board over here, so that can prove to be quite annoying, I would imagine, for white in this position. But of course you are able to possibly castle and then drop that knight back to eliminate that knight in the center, and you do have that open F-file as well, which could be quite interesting to look at. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look at what everybody's up to. So we've got this one over here, Coach Craig. We can see what he's up to. Let's see what dynamic duo versus fire bullet. So that is Justin Lynch versus Ryan van Rensburg. Again, 1500 in the rapid rating, but definitely above 1900 and above 2000 in the blitz rating. That is usually what these players are playing to practice for these events, and get used to these the variants they are playing a lot of blitz, 3 minutes, 2-second increment. So yeah, their true ratings are reflected over there. But let's see what the Rapid has in store for them as well. So here we have a dragon in the center and a knight in the center. So what's quite interesting about Paradigm Chess is that when a knight is in the center, it can only be taken away by another knight or a pawn, because you do not want to trade a dragon bishop for a knight. A dragon bishop is worth 6 points and a pawn is a knight is worth 3 points, of course. So I don't think we're going to see any dragon bishops exchanging for a knight. We do often see them going off for a rook possibly, and sometimes there's some sacrifices where the queen in fact sacrifices for the dragon bishop to test out the dynamic, but definitely we have that the value of the piece is 6 points for the dragon bishop. Alright, so let's see who else is up. We do have South African Goat versus Ray-Bans, and that is Kenny Willenberg versus Monterey. I haven't seen too much of these two players in the previous tournaments, I must say, but I do know they are quite active on the Paradigm scene when you are looking at the arenas that are hosted weekly on Thursday evenings. We do see them quite often, so I do know these players are quite experienced. It is definitely more of a closed game if we are comparing it to the other two games that we've seen. Definitely a different approach to this one over here. Quite solid. So they're still developing their pieces, trying to find their way as to where they want to go. We have Charlton Manyasta. I see there he's got a Kung Fu Panda picture. That's quite cute. So we've got he's definitely a very active player, both in normal chess, and he's now started playing Paradigm Chess30 as well, and he has risen to one of the top players in Paradigm Chess30 quite rapidly. So that is exciting to see. Let's see what his last move was. What did he take? So he took a knight, and I just said we don't often see that. I'm not sure. Let's see who is playing. Seaside Sunset. So that's Regan Palmer. So he took that. Oh, yeah, some tactics on the board. So Dragon Bishop takes knight. Pawn takes, because of course if Dragon Bishop takes back and it's check over there, that dragon doesn't pick up the rook, because the rook can't jump over this one over here. You can't jump over this dragon over here. So I wonder what his plans are. Maybe there's, because this queen is also on pre. There's always so much going on here. So let's see what's gonna happen. So dragon takes knight. If a rook takes queen, let's see, rook takes queen over here. We've got dragon takes pawn, perhaps check. Quite interesting. Let's see how this one plays out, because he is getting Seaside Sunset to think a little bit. So the queen is hanging. I must say I haven't looked at this quite in depth, this position, so it will be quite interesting to see the way they pan out this position. Yeah, so the king definitely has to move. So there's a check over there, but I'm not too sure, because this dragon bishop is going to hold this, make sure that he doesn't lose this rook. And of course you are able to check on the square, because this dragon bishop cannot jump here because of this pawn that's in the way. So that check is available over there, but it would be great to see what the follow-up is over here. And it's happening quite early in the game, I must say. Manyasa not using too much time, but we do have Regan Palmer that's under 8 minutes already. Okay, so while he's thinking of a follow-up, I hope we don't miss too much. So we have Melt Like Butter saying hi. Hi, Melt Like Butter. Welcome to Paradigm Chess30. We are covering this game with Charlton Manyasta and Regan Palmer playing white, and we are going to see what's going to unfold over here, because Black did sacrifice a dragon bishop that's worth 6 points for a knight that is worth 3 points, of course. But let's see if he's going to be able to pull through on the side over here, on the king's side. Let's see what's happening on this side. So we do have Lalder, who is Lorenzo van Niekerk, and Albrecht van Sale over here, Ali W, playing white. Let's see, this one is still starting out, I'd say, but I do have Lorenzo Lalder under 7 minutes already, and we have Albrecht, which is just under 10 minutes. So we do have a time dynamic over there. But let's see the position itself. That dragon bishop on the side does seem a little bit out of play, and we've got some tactics on the board over here, because white's dragon bishop is just cutting through the board, so he's of course able to take that knight there, that pawn in the center. Let's see. Alright, so putting pressure on that pin over there. Of course, the dragon on g7 is defending the knight, but now we have the knight and the dragon attacking this pinned knight in on the d file over there. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how things unfold in this game. I don't know if he's going to maybe redeploy the dragon that's on the side of the board, go back to c8 possibly to try and get the dragon back in the game, because I do feel that one is out of the game a bit. I don't see how else he's going to defend this knight. So many exciting games. I wonder what happened here in this one over here. So we do have a so this is quite interesting. So we checked it down on the at the end of the board over here, but that rook is not defended by the dragon, because the dragon cannot jump over pieces. So I would imagine just to take that rook. So let's just double check the material over here. So we've got a dragon versus a knight. That would be the only dynamic over here. I think the pawns, okay, he's got a pawn extra as well. But it's quite interesting, the style of play that we have here. And of course we have the Sneaky Weasel versus Luto. So this is Ben Hercules versus Luto Mfazwe. Ooh, let me get myself a glass of water. I'll be back in one moment. Alright, so I'm back, and I do think I do have a guest that wants to join me today. Let's see if I can get her. Let's see. Online. We have Adrian Deval, good morning, have fun, thank you so much and welcome to the channel. Let's see, share this link. Alright, so I do hear things speeding up a little bit. They're playing quite fast, although they do have a lot of time left. Playing on opposite sides of the board over here. Let's just have a look here. I haven't looked at this one too deeply. Let's see what's happening over here. So we do have a lot more piece play on the queen side, which is attacking the king over here from the Sneaky Weasel, and Luto playing on the other side of the board. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds. Let's just have a look at the last few games that are going on. I don't want to miss any of them, so I think we do have possibly, let's see what's happening here. So we have Shoei, which is Sherwin Kleinsmith, versus Sanisha, which is Donovan van der Heever. They started a little bit later. I think they had some technical difficulties, but we do have a game going. So let's see what's happening over here. I think the So we already have some imbalances here in the material. Let's have a look at this. I think that's Sherwin that's up in material over here in this game. Alright, so I'm just trying to get my guest going. Okay, so but let's try and find out what's happening in the earlier games. So we've got Rogito playing Coach Craig over here. So Rogito has got his, I wonder, is he trying to trap this dragon? He still has this knight in the middle of the board. I'm not sure, is it not bothering Craig too much that he's got this knight in the center of the board? I think he possibly thinks he doesn't need to get rid of it. But I do think this dragon bishop is going to be in a little bit of trouble if it doesn't sort that out. Alright, let's jump to dynamic duo and fire bullet. What was happening here earlier on? Oh, I see a pawn all the way down the board, almost reaching the end of the board over there for dynamic duo. Always so full of surprises. The way he's playing Paradigm and even his standard chess, always so full of surprises. Again, more material imbalances over here. I do see a dragon bishop for Justin, who is dynamic duo, and then fire bullet, of course. Ryan van Rensburg has yeah, this knight. These knights can be so annoying when they've got these you know, these outposts supported by a pawn. It's so difficult to get rid of them. So it will be interesting to see how these players manage all of these different dynamics. Yeah, of course he's going to take that knight over there, because it can be quite annoying. It's difficult to get rid of them. Let's see who else. So we've got South African goat Kenny Willenberg again versus Monterey over here. This one is, I think, it's not as direct as the other games that some of the games that we've seen so far, but I do see Ray-Bans trying to switch over here to the king side. But of course Kenny with his own ideas, with that diagonal with the queen and the bishop battery aiming at the king. And then of course we have the rooks doubled up as well. But we do have to note that Kenny is under 3 minutes already, and someone is about 2 minutes up in this game. And then yes, we do have this game that was quite interesting earlier with Manyasta that sacrificed a dragon bishop for a knight to have some play against the king over here. But has white had sufficient defense? We'll definitely find out soon, because I see Seaside Sunset, which is Regan Palmer, is under a minute, and Manyasa is really just under 9 minutes. So that is definitely going to be in his advantage, because he does have a pawn rolling down the side of the board as well. Definitely not easy, this one. Not easy to play with this time pressure as well. Let's see what's happening here with Lalder. I know Lalder went some material down earlier. It's not looking too good. But again, he is also extremely resourceful. Lalder Lorenzo van Niekerk as he is one of the co-creators of Paradigm Chess30. So of course he's never going to give up without a fight. So always using all of his resources available to him, and if there are no resources available, he will go find them. So of course he is one of my favorites to win this event. He is my father, so I'm always going to be rooting for family. Definitely one of my favorites. But I do think the time pressure and the material imbalance of a year for him is not looking too good. Ali W, Albrecht van Sale, also definitely one of the top Paradigm Chess 30 players. He's not going to make it easy. So I'm wondering if we're going to have our first result. Oh no, he definitely sees that his time is running out. Let's see if we can just quickly skip to the others. So I'm noticing that we've got some big time differences. I wonder if these are the players that are a little bit more active and have their eye in a little bit more, that are able to actually be more than 2 to 3, and sometimes, you know, in Manyasta's case, 9 minutes ahead of his opponent. And that is quite advantageous in Paradigm Chess30, because it's difficult to be calculating how these dragons are jumping all the time. So to do so under severe time pressure really is something. And of course this game started a little bit later, and wow, the time difference here again as well. I think I did hear a result somewhere. Not sure if somebody might have lost on time or been checkmated. I don't see anything as yet. Okay, so no results as yet, so I suppose we can then skip over to that game. So of course in this event they are playing a double round robin, so they will get to rematch after this game. We will see them swapping colors, and then we'll have rematches, and then we'll have the first leg of the second match also happen today. So here's an endgame for you, Dragon Bishop versus Rook, and these pawns are quite far advanced, so I think we're going to see a definite result over here. Of course, Coach Craig is also one of my favorites. He's my husband, also one of the co-founders of Paradigm Chess30. So I'm hoping that it deals with these two pawns in the center over here. And I must say most of these players are South African, but Rojito, I know he is not. I'm just not sure. I can't remember which country he is from, but I will find that out soon. So it'll be quite interesting to see how this game goes. Definitely some time pressure over here. And so of course the main aim of Paradigm Chess30 is to try and eliminate the possibility of a draw. So we are hoping to see more decisive results and not as many draws, because I know often in your classical chess you are finding a lot of draws at top level. So let's see what happened here. So Fire Bullet beat Dynamic Duo, so that was Justin Lynch. So he lost his first game against Right, let's see what happened here. Okay. Check over there. Yes, so of course this is quite nice because this is not check anymore because the dragon can't jump. So we have that over there, but yeah, and this is fantastic. I love this about Paradigm Chess30. This queen is actually pinned, so the fire bullet knows this, of course. That queen is pinned, so we put extra pressure on that pin piece. And let's see. Yeah, so I think Justin he focused on that pin, and then he just dropped his dragon bishop over there, and then resigned on that one. Let me see if we have any more games coming close to an end. Seaside Sunset still has about under 20 seconds left. Let me see, has the game simplified somewhat? It has. I think the queens are off the board now. But yeah, I mean, Nelsa's definitely going to push his. We want to check here at the bottom and then promote that that pawn, of course. And definitely putting Regan into a think. Yeah, I saw rook takes, rook check, king up, rook takes. And I think this is just winning for black. I think this should just be winning for black. Yeah, so black just won that one over there. So that one we saw coming. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, again, still this this time difference over here, but now I think let's see what's happening. Black's move, it's white's move now. Yeah, Ali W should be quite comfortable here in this game and should be able to win this one quite comfortably with two dragon bishops for the rook over there. Yeah, so Ali W won that one. Let's see what we have going on here. Sneaky Weasel versus Luto. It's a quite interesting position. So it's definitely going to try to get him into some kind of mating net over here. And then I think we do have a guest joining us here. Megan, can you hear me?
Hi, yes I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think are we struggling to get an image of you there?
I do believe so. My camera doesn't allow me to show.
Okay, not a problem. We do have some games finishing up here, but before we go into that, I just want to introduce Megan van Niekerk. Almost not Megan van Niekerk anymore, but she's still Megan van Niekerk at the moment. Megan, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi. Yeah, so I am Megan, WIM elect. I am Lauren Willenberg's younger sister. Yeah, and very excited to see the games. It's a pity I missed out on the first round, but definitely looking forward to the rest of the games.
No, great to have you here with us. Yeah, we've had some decisive results in the first round, but we also had huge time gaps. So I'm hoping it wasn't any any delays with internet or anything like that. But we definitely had a lot of time delays, but mostly decisive results, which is what we want to see in Paradigm Chess30. We do have a few games still running. You are able to follow on chess.com if you want to have a look at some of the games, and then of course we are live on Twitch. So at the moment I'm looking at Rojito versus Coach Craig. It's literally a dragon and a king versus a king and a rook. So I wonder if this one's going to end in a draw. Of course he's going to try and find a way to pick up the rook, possibly with a double attack. This dragon is quite flexible, so that will of course be what Craig's plan would be. But otherwise, if the rook also obviously picks up the dragon, he will be able to convert that on Rojito's side. But if Craig does win the rook, he's going to have to demonstrate the dragon and checkmating the king. Have you done that before, Megan?
No, I have seen it, but definitely I haven't done it. I haven't played enough to actually do it, but I mean, it was so interesting to see it though.
Yeah, so I know Craig, in fact, was able to execute that kind of checkmate in the last tournament that we had. In the group stages as well. It might have been his first or second game that he was able to do it, but of course to be able to do that he needs to pick up the rook. But he's like got 20 seconds left and Rojito's got 5 minutes, so I think he's going to be rather careful, and he's not going to drop that rook, I don't think.
Do you think in this position it's very easy to draw?
I think so. I think it could be. Let's see, I hear another result that just came up. So Kenny also just beat Ray-Bans. So that was went down to the wire.
Are you able to update me with the score? Like who won so far? How is the
So
score looking?
let me see. So Ryan van Rensburg beat Justin in their first game. Kenny beat Monray, so that's South African goat that beat Ray-Bans. We have Charlton Manyasta that was able to pull a result against Seaside Sunset, who is Regan Palmer, in fact. We have Ali W that beat Lalder, and then I think Sneaky Weasel. What happened here in this game? I didn't see quite what happened in this game. Oh wow, he was able to find a checkmate. That was quite beautiful. So then Sneaky Weasel beat Luto over there, and I think we do have a winner here on the board against Sherwin versus Donovan. So then Sherwin won that game as well. So let me see, do we have everybody done? Let's double check. No, it's just this game with Craig. Let's see. Yeah, it's just this one game left, so let's have a look. So they are of course going to play this out until the very end. Of course Craig is going to try and pick up that rook, but I'm not so sure that Rojito is going to allow that. Oh no, so is that check, and he picks up the rook and Craig wins that game. Oh my goodness. That was fantastic. So let's just have a look over there. Did he have a choice? He didn't have a choice. Wow, I suppose he could have gone there, but even that would have led to the check over there, phenomenal. That was fantastic. So that was definitely technique displayed over there. It's a pity we don't have the players online. I would have liked to speak to some of them, but of course they are going to rematch each other, and then we will have a result between the matches. And the structure is kind of like a knockout almost. I think the group stages, and then we have some players going through, some players falling out. So it's quite important, these preliminaries, to pull off results over here. So let me just have a look at the schedule, what time the next one is supposed to start. So at 10 o'clock we have round 2 starting. So just letting the players know they can take a little bit of a breather. Let me just make sure. I wonder if there's anybody playing. So we do have Calvin Claassen in the morning chat group. Morning, my sisters. I'm not sure if that's from Calvin or from my actual sister. So well, good morning to Robin and Calvin Claassen regardless. Regan the champ, I see you also following over there. Yeah, tough one over there, Regan. I think the time was not on your side over there, and of course the game was quite complex. And then I think we did go through the results as we did just now. And then Adrian Duval saying nice games so far. So I think we lost Megan for a moment, but we will get her back soon. I think she's trying to get some image on her side so that we can see her facial expressions as well. But well done to those that have won so far. Definitely no draws, which is great, which is what we aim for. We aim for exciting chess, and we try to eliminate the draws. Megan, are you back?
I am back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I see Regan over there is pointing out that I spelled my own surname wrong. I did not spell my own surname wrong. I do have somebody helping me. So that's a E instead of a U. Thank you so much, Regan. And you see the finer detail that these paradigm chess players see. I love it.
I know I missed out on a few minutes. Are we still looking at the same game, it seems?
So no, Craig was able to pick up that rook, and then Rojito resigned. So we do have Sneaky Weasel that won. We have so Sneaky Weasel is Ben Hercules. We have Albrecht van Sale, Ryan van Rensburg, Craig Willenberg, Charlton Manyasta. I think it was Sherwin that beat Donny as well. So Yeah, that's the results we have until now, and then the next round is going to start in the next 5 minutes. We're just giving the players a little bit of a breather, and then they will be starting at 10 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so does that mean that it's coffee time?
How many cups of coffee have you had already?
I mean, I'm on my second, but who's counting?
So do you want another one? My goodness.
Well, I mean, I think if you're going to be watching Paradigm for the next 3 hours, we need to get that blood pumping and the energy up and running. So I won't be counting the amount of cups that I had.
Okay, let's see. We have. I just want to double check that we don't have any games going on as yet. You know, some of these players are quite eager, so I just want to make sure that we're not missing out on any of the action. Let's see. Let's watch. Yeah, I knew some of them would be jumping the gun. Let's put them. So we actually have a game going on already at the moment. We have Sherwin versus Donovan. They're doing their rematch. So they actually started a little bit later than the others in the first round, but it seems the second round they're just jumping the gun a bit.
So is this tournament a double round robin? Is that how it works?
So for the first leg, yes. And then let me just get the program. I don't want to, because it is quite interesting. I think it works as like the soccer World Cup, but let me just double check. So what happens is we have so this is the preliminaries. So everybody plays a double round robin. And then after the preliminaries, we have the quarterfinals. So that's the top 2 finishers in each group. Then of course the winners in those ones go through to the semi-finals, and then we have the finals. So definitely yes, it's looking like it's like a soccer World Cup structure. So we have, this is the preliminaries where 2 players of each group can get knocked out after today and tomorrow.
And I believe it was also in terms of selection. You have to have a certain rating. Am I not mistaken?
That's right. So then players had to reach the rating of 1900 in the blitz. I suppose either if you're playing rapid or blitz or classical, but you just need to have a rating of 1900 and above to be able to qualify for this tournament. So I did point out that we do have 1400 rating on the screen, but that is because they don't often play rapid. These players are mostly playing 3 minutes 2 second games, so not often 15 minutes or 10 minutes aside. As well. So we have most of the results in, but we do have Watu that did not play the first round. Let me see who Watu was supposed to play against. Watu and Andrew Horn. I think somebody had load shedding over there, so then the game was delayed, but then they are going to catch that one up a little bit later.
Okay, so we have Sherwin that started, Sherwin and his opponent.
Yeah, so Sherwin and Donovan van Niekerk. So Donovan van Niekerk, international master, he is Sunny Shah. So Sherwin is 1 point up in this match.
Wow.
I just want to see if there's anybody else, anywhere else playing, because they're probably going to start in the next minute or so. Okay, but while we are waiting, let's see what's happening in this game. These guys are playing quite quick. Sherwin's not even under 15 minutes.
And time control is 15:10, right?
That's right.
So Lauren, when last have you played Paradigm?
Probably not this week's arena, last week's arena, last week Thursday. I played that, so that is every Thursday evening. I think around about 7 or 7:30 South African time, or GMT +2. So that's the last time I played. And what about you?
It's been quite a while. But do you feel like the game has been growing since it started a few years ago? Do you feel like there are more players in the arena since we got that up and running?
Oh, definitely. We have, I think we have over 60 active players now, whereas about a year ago we were struggling to like keep it to 20. So it's definitely growing, and not just the numbers, but the players, the countries that are partaking in the variant is quite exciting. We have players from all over the world, the US, Hungary, so we've got the Americas, and we've got Europe also um, playing. I'm hoping to get some from Asia, because I mean these are dragons and they are derived from Chinese chess. So I'm hoping we get some Chinese chess players as well involved in the variant at some point. But nothing as yet, not that I've seen. But yeah, my daughter Katie, she also played in the last arena. She likes the
Oh
dragon bishops.
wow!
Yeah, she was hoping to verse her grandfather, but she didn't get there.
Oh no! And how did she do?
If you click, which what's nice about online chess is when you click on the piece, you can see where it can go. So she just clicks on the piece and see where the dot pops up, and then just puts the piece there. So she's only 4 years old. She's just enjoying herself. So probably the youngest paradigm chess player that I know.
And there's a new one on the way, so maybe he'll also be playing a bit of paradigm chess when he's around.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's not another new variant that the family decides to create. So let's see. So Sanisha's a little bit more aggressive in this game. So he's of course opening up lines against Sherwin over here. You sacrifice the pawn over there to open up lines because he is a point behind. So of course you don't want to try and you want to try and stay in the tournament. You don't want to fall out this weekend and have to be a spectator next weekend. So
I
mm,
I was looking at dragon f6, just attacking the h pawn, but I think after queen h6 that dragon is trapped, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he has to drop back, all the way back.
yeah, because even dragon f6 is so yes, it is attacking this pawn over here, but unfortunately it's not check, and so because of the pawn on f7. But it would have been a nice move had it moved like a knight, but I think when it moves like just like a knight, I think there's not enough room on the chessboard. So yeah, after queen h6 it does look like the dragon would be trapped, so you might have to retreat all the way. But also yeah, no. I know sometimes players don't mind giving up their dragons for the rook, but if it's not necessary, I don't think they have to do it.
And have the other players started? Let me just check if there are other games up and running.
So let's see if we can get some other games. Yes, so let's see if we can put them on the board. So I'm going to do Fire Bullet and Dynamic Duo. Let me see. Oh no, that was the previous game that's up here. Let me just refresh. Let's see if I can get that up. Keeps giving me the old one.
It looks like there's a game that started from Chess Heroes.
So they haven't played yet, so that's quite nice. So okay, now I see all the games. So Chess Heroes, that is Andrew Horn, and Ngusho is Watu. So this is their first round of the day. So
the delayed one.
yeah, so they are playing their first round of the day. So let's see their strategies. It's quite interesting because you don't have a lot of prep for this variant. Because the position keeps shuffling. That's why we have the 30 Paradigm Chess 30. There are 30 positions that you can get, from the king and the rooks staying on their original squares and the other pieces shuffling. But I've noticed that some players do try to adopt some strategies to start the game, as to where they place their knights, where they put their pawns in general. Some of them even trying to adopt your normal opening, trying to get your normal opening structures from the get-go.
I've tried that. I don't think it's as easy as it seems.
No,
I try
definitely
to
not.
follow those principles, but you can actually get quite in a tough situation if you try to follow the normal rules at times.
Yeah, no, so it's, because a lot of the times you have your pawn structures like, okay, this is my good bishop, that is my bad bishop, but now these bishops can jump colors. You can have two light square bishops and you can have two dark square bishops. So I think that's what changes it a little bit, the structures. So we have these two starting. I see they don't have the same time control. I might just maybe make them aware of that for the next round. They've got 10 minutes and 15-second increments, but let's see if I can find.
And you mentioned that Lolder is also playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa!
What happened?
Chase Heroes is. Did you force that resign or what happened?
Let me see if
Because of the time control.
Yeah.
Must be okay. Yeah, because
So
that game just dropped.
Yeah. Now let's see. Okay. Yeah, no, they're restarting.
Okay.
Definitely restarting. Let's see if we can get some of the other players.
I like dynamic duos game, versus Fire Bullet, like you mentioned earlier. Looks like
So
a really
let's
interesting
get
game.
into that one. These two are just so quick. It's like the game just started and they're like so far into the game. Usually Fire Bullet is the one that's up on time. Let's see. I like White's position over here. It looks like his pieces are well coordinated. Am I missing something, or is there a dragon bishop missing on the board? Did Fire Bullet drop a dragon somewhere? I just want to go all the way, because I don't see. Oh, there's a queen missing too. Oh my! If you go back a bit, Megan, I don't know if you are able to go back a little bit, but Justin dropped his queen for the dragon somewhere. Let's see. I think we lost Megan as well, but yes, so that's that's what happened over there. So now we're going to see the dynamics of a dragon for a queen, and that happens so quickly. So we are definitely going to see that. Yeah, so this is quite far. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment with that so quickly into the game. Let's see if we've got somebody else also. We do have, most of the games have started, so let me get into some of these games. So we do have this rematch over here with Coach Craig and Rajita as well. Megan, are you back? I think we lost you for a moment.
Yep, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, no, so I just saw that that dragon over there. It was missing on Fire Bullet's side, but also the queen was missing on Justin's side. So we have that done. Yeah, you don't expect to look for the queen because you expect the queen to be on the board so soon into the game. Yeah.
Let me actually try going back to see how that exchange happened.
Yeah. So let's go back to that game. I went on to another one, but let's go back to that game. So let's see. So were you able to just revise that? I did go over it here on my side.
Yeah. Let me just see.
So then he was able to pick up the queen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic.
Do you think that was planned?
No. I don't think so.
No, I'm telling you, that's what happens if you play a little bit too fast. You miss out on this dragon bishop tactics.
Yeah, no, I think he played a bit too fast. I don't think he intentionally wanted to go into this imbalance. But you never
No.
know. You never know. We don't have
Yeah.
engines, and they are basically our engines. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also know like the dragon versus queen also isn't too bad. So I mean, there is still a chance
No,
for
definitely, definitely.
him to come back.
Yes, well, we hope so. But also, you don't expect that so soon in the game. I mean, if you thinking about like normal chess, and like your king and your queen are not even like close to each other in terms of being pinned or knight fork or anything. So the dragon forks are quite tricky, but they are exciting when they do happen. I want to move on to see if there are other games going on. So Coach Craig and Rojito have swapped colors, and they are now in their second leg of their match. Are you able to move over to that game?
Chase Heroes.
Coach Craig and Rojito.
No, that game doesn't pop up. I only have Showy, Dynamic Duo, and then Chase Heroes on my side.
Alright, so maybe if we can go to let's see which one I didn't have open. Do you have, let me just refresh this, I don't want to be going into the same games. Chess Heroes, do we, oh,
Yep.
they started a new game, hey, because they had to change the time.
Yep, the game is up and running. Queenside castling for Chess Heroes. So it looks like it's going to be an opposite side castling game, which is going to be very attacking, I think.
Yeah, I think Ben might just be having some technical difficulties here. Let me see if I can try and assist him here quickly. But you can go ahead and try to analyze what's happening here. I do see somebody making arrows. I'm not sure who that is, one of the players perhaps, but we can see it. I hope the opponent can't see it.
It does. Yeah, I don't think it shows on chess.com. Yep, so Watu did go for the king side castling. There's a dragon double up on b2 and c3, all the way pinning it down to h8. So I do think white can maybe push the pawn h5, h4, h5, and then just open up the lines, and then, yeah, definitely has a good strategy going. Let's see what black comes up with in the meantime.
Let's see what's happening here.
Okay, takes.
Okay, so we are going to have a delay on our one side because one player wasn't able to start the game in time, and then they aborted the game too many times. So I think they're just going to have a little bit of a timeout. So that's Luto versus Ben. So that game is going to be a little delayed. Okay, but let's see. Yes, so you said opposite side castling here with Watu and Andrew.
Yeah, but let's just ignore that. Watu actually, well, Andrew actually sacrificed his rook for the central knight. So I don't know if you want to go a little bit more back with your, yeah, we actually see the updated position. I don't know why you would sacrifice a rook for the knight, giving Watu a stronger center.
Yeah, so it's, let me just see, because sometimes yeah, I'm not sure that was it entirely provoked, because that dragon bishop wasn't trapped, it was able to play still, but I know what happens in some positions, because that knight in the center can be so annoying and it can't be chased away, you know, I suppose without giving up material by anything other than a knight or a pawn. So sometimes if you have that that knight there, it can be quite annoying.
But now that center though, quite strong.
Yeah. But I don't know why he's playing so fast as well. I mean, I don't think there's any need to play this quickly. And does that queen have any space now? I suppose you can go to b5.
Queen b5. And then maybe dragon.
I mean, this pawn is hanging here as well on f2. So,
Oof.
I suppose if that pawn drops, and then your knight, your rook will be under attack as well. So this and then
And
the knight
b-pawn.
and yeah. I mean, white does have this pawn over here in the center as well. If the dragon had to go for that, but I mean, this just seems so tricky now. Because I mean, what does this? Yeah, he has to drop back. Okay, let me just see. We do have other games going on, so let's just see who I do have Shoei playing, and we've gone to that one. Let's see who we have not had a look at yet. I don't think we have a game open for South African Goat. Do you want to go to that one?
Okay, let's check. Okay.
I'm going to see if I can open up all the games in the meantime.
Okay, so who is South African Goat and his opponent?
So South African Goat is Kenny Willenberg, and then Ray-Bans is Monray. I don't have his surname with me right now, but he's also definitely very active on the Paradigm scene. I just want to make sure I have as many games running as possible. Okay, so Luta and the Sneaky Weasel will be starting a little bit later. And then I'm just going to open this, where did that go? Ali W and Lalder. So I'm going to...
So just a question, Dynamic Duo and Fire Bullet is currently on hold, right?
I don't think. Dynamic Bullet and...
Fire Bullet and Dynamic
Sorry,
Duo.
Dynamic Bullet.
Oh no, never mind.
No, that is Sneaky Weasel and Luto, because one of the players are not able to get in. But I do see we have the Herculean mover, asking the scores up to date. So I think we have, let me see, I did have the scores here. We had Craig win his game, Fire Bullet win his game, Manyasta, he won that game. Kenny won his game against Ray-Bans. We have Ali W that won his game, and then also the Sneaky Weasel that won his game. We are going to have a table with the results also pop up after this round as well. So let me just see. So Megan, I do see your video is on, so I'm going to just allow the image to play on my side. I'm going to see if it is on the screen, if I'm available. Ah, there, I see you. Welcome, Megan. I see your face now. I couldn't see it just now.
I don't see it. Oh, I do.
Alright, so I just want to open up everything over here. So yeah, so let's see who I don't have. Some of these games have started and restarted from over, so in my mind I actually don't know who I have open. So let's see, we do have Shoei, Ray-Bans, Fire Bullet, Coach Craig, Watu, Ali W, and who did I not say? Did I say? I did say Watu, Fire Bullet, Shoei. Did we say Rojito? Do I have that game open? I don't think so, eh?
Not that I see.
Oh, no, we do. South African goat, Ali W. Ali W, do I have that open? Yes. Let's see, do we have South African goat? We do have. We're missing somebody here.
Lolder?
Ali W and Lolder are playing there, yes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there are only 6 games, so we do have everybody. That's why it's a little bit confusing. Okay, so let us go to the start. Okay, so this was the first game that started. Sherwin and Donovan. I feel like whoa, what's happening here? Okay, so he just so he's picking up. Is he picking up both rooks with this move? No, you can. Oh yeah, he's picking up both rooks with that move. Yeah, so so that's 1-1. Their score now is 1-1. So that's 1-1 for Sherwin and Donovan van der Heever. So let's move on to Ray-Bans and South African goat. So this is Monray versus Kenny. And so I do find that their games are not as explosive as a lot of the other games. It's more of a build-up, which is nice to see.
If you want an explosive game, you should go to Chess Heroes and
Watu.
It's crazy.
Chess Heroes and Watu. Alright. Okay, so what's happening here? I remember they did have some sort of imbalance. I think the rook went for the knight, and now is Watu just a rook up?
And yeah, just a rook up. Sure.
Oh. Yeah, so this is their first game though. So maybe you know, Chess Heroes is still waking up. I don't know, maybe he didn't have his cup of coffee yet, so maybe he's still waking up, so he does have another chance to come back, and I hope that he does. I like to see some good solid matchups, but of course Watu, the last event that we had, Watu and Dragon B70, which is Tunat Min from Hungary, I think. They played a head-to-head match, so I think Watu is well oiled.
Oh, was that the tournament where they had like multiple rounds versing each other?
It was an 8-game match. Yeah, so and then of course yeah, so then Tunat Min, he won that challenge, and so Watu was the runner-up over there. But I mean, a runner-up still puts you second in the world. So I mean, Watu is still definitely a tough contender when it comes to Paradigm Chess30.
And do you know what the final score was in terms of that tournament?
Oh, I did know at the time. I think, was it like 2.5? I think for Watu, but I speak under correction. I think it might have been something like that. 2.5, 5.5 or something like that. But the score definitely did not reflect what was happening in the match. The games were really crazy. The games were really crazy. So it's not to say that Watu was on the back foot all the time. In fact, he was the one attacking a lot of the times, and then on the counterplay, Dragon B70 was able to lash out. But it seems like today Watu was quite successful. He was able to now win this game against Andrew, of course, being a whole rook up. So that's a good result there for Watu. This round is actually going a lot faster than the previous round, I must say. What's happening with Fire Bullet and Dynamic Duo, this Queen versus Dragon Bishop dynamic?
I mean, White is quite active though.
He is. Aiming at the pawn there, trying to open up the king.
Oh, Dragon E5 takes G7. No. I was going to say threatening. You know, the knight takes e6. Sure, there's a lot going on there.
I would also say dragon on h5 takes g7, threatening dragon f6. Is that mate? Dragon f6 mate?
No.
After dragon takes g7 and then followed by dragon f6.
But doesn't that dragon on g7 block the check?
No, so the vacant square has to be the square that goes
right,
straight.
right.
Yeah, so I think he's actually threatening, but of course black has resources, but that would definitely be mate if he had to go
If I was
something like
black,
that.
I would
And then
try doing perpetual check all the way.
But I mean, does black have to settle for a draw? Does black not have play? Is he able to defend this? Because I'm looking at dragon takes the pawn on d4 as well. So if black plays dragon takes d4, so then he's going to be attacking that dragon in the middle of the board, and that also stops that mate. But does he not have mating chances himself? I don't see anything at the moment. So
I like the dragon d4 for black.
Yeah, so I think that is something to look at. Let's see. Will that event eventually turn into the Paradigm World Champs, perhaps? I think there are certain criteria that you have to meet to announce something as a World Championship match, but informally we like to joke around and say that's the World Championship match, because at the time it was definitely the top 2 players in the world of Paradigm Chess30. So informally we say that, but I'm not sure what the criteria is that we do need to meet to actually officially call something a World Championship match. I wonder what Ryan is thinking. Are there any tactics, any mating nets that we are not considering?
I don't see anything for black. The only way I can see is him preventing white's plans, which, like you said, dragon takes d4.
Let's see. Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna go for something.
Oh wait, so queen check, king moves, then g6. Oh no, yeah, g6.
Doesn't g6 run into mate? g6 runs into dragon f7. Is that dragon f7 not mate?
Dragon can't go to f6.
Not f7, f6?
Is that mate? No. King can go to g7, isn't it?
But the dragon will be on f6.
Oh my days.
Megan, do you need another cup of coffee?
My tactics.
I think that's just general how the piece moves. Like,
yeah.
The dragon bishop still moves like a bishop. It moves like a horse as well, but it also still moves like a bishop.
I just think it's crazy how like one piece covers like 9 blocks, for example. So dragon f6, it covers the f7, g7, h8, h7. Like it covers so many squares.
You can actually mate with just the dragon. So like you don't even need the king. So if that king, for example, was on h8 and there was the pawn on g7 wasn't there, dragon on f6 would be checkmate. So essentially a dragon can checkmate a king without the help of other pieces. So that's crazy.
But I mean, like, how would I as an opponent wouldn't go to the corner? I'm sure there's ways that I can just avoid that.
So I think like I was saying earlier,
like the dragon can't cut off a king, like it can cut off a king.
Yeah, now it can be driven to the corner. I think we had a game with Craig and Banelli. I think it was Banelli that he played, where it was a king and dragon endgame, and he was actually able to drive that king to the corner and deliver checkmate. So he played over here. He played dragon. What's this, dragon d3? Is he planning on finding a checkmate over here, possibly with queen to f1? Queen f1 check.
Queen f1. King h2.
You see, it's difficult to have silent moves because after dragon, first it's white's turn to play, right? So if dragon takes g7, for example, threatening checkmate on f6. So even if queen goes to f1 now, king h2, are we going to play queen takes pawn? Because we can't play dragon. Yeah, queen takes f2 because we can't play dragon takes, of course, because you run into mate. So queen takes f2. We do have this dragon check over here on f5 as well. Oh, this is going to get tricky.
And what is the score between the two of them?
So Fire Bullet won the first game. Let's see if there's anything else happening anywhere that could be exciting. We don't want to miss out on anything. But of course we can return to that game. Do you have any favorites in this tournament, Megan?
I don't know. I always like tournaments when I know that Watu and Donovan are playing.
Okay.
They have such a history when it comes to chess. It's always quite interesting to see that. So I would say it could be Watu, and then also Lolder, because he's the founder of this game, of this variant. So I think it's very interesting to see how he plays as well. I'll say those two are my top two. Who are yours?
I'm biased. I've got like so much family playing in this tournament. I have Kenny playing. I have Daddy playing, which is Lolder, Lorenzo van Niekerk. I have my husband Craig Willenberg playing, and then I also have Justin Lynch, who's part of our chess club, that's playing. So I have a lot of bias going on over here.
Okay, unbiasedly.
No, but I must say, let me see all the names. I do enjoy watching Watu's games, I must say. Yeah. I do enjoy watching Fire Bullet play as well, just because he is so resourceful. And then Ali W is somebody that I think is someone that can pull a rabbit out of the hat as well.
That is true.
That is obviously if I'm taking out my obvious choices. But let's see what happened. So Rojito won this game, so they're also now on a 1-1. Let's see what happened here. Let's see. Okay, so what's happening here? Oh, Rojito was just a dragon up somewhere. Am I right? It seems that way. Somewhere, I think, yeah, somewhere something. Oh, also, just a normal discovered attack, but you don't expect that kind of discovered attack. Again, a dragon attacking the king like that. Usually, if a bishop is going to discover attack like that, then it's attacking nothing. But over here, it's attacking the king, which is quite unfortunate. But now that's 1-1. That matchup over there, and then eventually I think he just resigned.
So is this tournament also a case of knockouts like previously?
Yes, so that's why I say it takes on like the structure of the Soccer World Cup. So after the preliminaries is what they're playing now, so it's a double round robin, and then the top two in each group go on to the quarterfinals, and then they knock each other out in the quarterfinals, and the winners over there move on to the semifinals, and then of course the winners of the semifinals move on to the finals, and then that's how it will work over there. So I think, Justin didn't go for what we were looking at. He went for direct dragon f7 check earlier on, and then he opted to exchange dragon bishops. So I think he was looking, of course, at this queen f1 check over here, but now after all of these exchanges we have a okay, so this queen is pinned at the moment, which is interesting. So we have a dragon bishop versus a queen, and the queen, he also has a pawn extra, hey? black also has an extra pawn.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the queen is pinned, that dragon's also there keeping it, so you're not going to do much of that, but black can maybe still create play on the queen side with that extra pawn.
Yeah, but you also have to remember that queen can't move, right? And the king can't get out of the pin. So it's almost as if white can, start moving his king around, moving it to the pawns on the other side, and start creating play over there. Now, if you had maybe just take the pawn with the dragon.
Right, I was thinking the same.
I would take the pawn with the dragon. And then I would...
So many things hanging.
Yeah, I would check... Okay, so he took the knight. Okay.
No,
so now we're going
down.
into... No, so what he wants to do is go into an end game. Because he's got more pawns, right? So if dragon takes queen now and pawn takes...
No. Pawn takes knight, queen can't take with dragon f7.
No, but dragon f7 is only... Oh, you mean queen can't take pawn? No, but even if queen takes pawn, dragon f7. So let's have a look at this. So if pawn takes, queen takes, dragon check, the queen can block the check.
Then dragon d if...
Black? Did white resign? Did he just blunder? This is what Justin did in the first game as well. He just blundered his piece. He's like, but he's respectful enough to resign immediately. Yeah, he just blundered. Because that's not pinned anymore. So Fire Bullet is actually leading quite nicely in his section. He's now got 2 points. I heard another decisive result somewhere. So that's Sherwin lost to Donny, so that's 1-1. Okay, so we have South African Goat also 2-0. Queen takes. Well, what's happening here to begin with? Did you have to give up that queen? Again! So this discovered attacks is just popping up everywhere.
Wait, sure. Just go over it again.
So that queen on f7 is undefended, right? So he just goes dragon to c5 check, and then he picks the queen up. But I think in this situation I wouldn't have resigned as quickly, because it's a dragon for a queen, so it's like 6 for 9. But I suppose that queen is a little bit annoying over there. It's not, I suppose, the position.
Yeah, and also with the rook on c1, knight threatening the c pawn,
yeah.
I think it's too much.
No, I think you're right. I think the position itself is too overwhelming. Okay, so that's that. So Kenny has 2 points, so that's great. So we have 1-1 in this matchup with Shoei and Donovan. We have 2-0 with Kenny and Monray. We have 2-0 Fire Bullet and Justin. We have 1-1 with Coach Craig and Erojito. We have 1-0 at this point with these two. RAW versus Lorenzo van Niekerk. So again we have Lalder in time trouble. We've had this in the previous game as well, but let's have a look what's happening on the board. So a slight material imbalance. And now we're going to level things up, and I think now black should be a pawn up. No, there's 2 knights. Black has 2 knights. Oh, a knight in it. Okay. Pawn down.
Wait. Oof. How'd that happen so quick? Was that forced?
No, I don't think it was forced, but I think he did have a little time. Because essentially, do you have to give up that dragon? I just don't think he wanted to retreat. because maybe the square over here becomes too hot because this pawn is pinned after pawn takes. So maybe that's being threatened. So if you're going to take this dragon bishop somewhere here, for example, and then I think there's too much pressure on this pawn. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. Definitely a lot to play for here because early W is 1 point up, and so of course Lalder is going to be pushing. But I mean, what happens after? I suppose if pawn takes, then knight can take knight first, right?
Yeah. No, but then dragon take. Yeah, that should be fine.
I think that should be fine, because even if dragon takes, we've got the dragon that takes. So after pawn takes, we've got knight takes here. Okay, so we've got him attacking the queen. So much happening here. What's quite interesting is just knight here, so even a rook takes, and then, you know, rook attacking the dragon and the king, just to make things a little bit tricky. But of course you don't want to go into complications when you have so little time.
But is white slightly up with material?
I think slightly. Just ever so slightly.
Oh no, can't do that.
What were you looking at?
I was gonna go straight up rook c7, but that's a blunder.
And I think if you really wanted to exchange your queen for the dragon, I think possibly the other way might have been, I think, a little bit better. But of course these players are a lot better than I am, so I can't say that. But I'm not sure. Did he have to go for that? I think he just... Was that his intention? Yeah, I don't know. I suppose if the queen's gonna go somewhere like here because he wants to go queen in here, then this pawn is hanging as well. I don't think it's looking too great for white.
Yeah, I think maybe that could have been the best move in that moment. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Yeah, so that's Ali W, also 2 points. Ali W is 2 points over there in his group. Let's see. Anybody else playing? Is everybody done? Seems everybody's done. But let me just check if there are some players that are catching up games, because I know Luto, yeah, here you go. Luto and Sneaky Weasel had to start a little bit late. So it seems that they almost just about started, if I'm looking at the time. But already it looks like this game is on par with the others. Like, how did they play this quick?
So is this their second game?
This is their second game, yes. So do we have any mating nets over here? I suppose dragon...
If dragon
Looking at dragon at b7. But I don't know what the follow-up would be after that.
Dragon b7, king c7, then dragon a... No, a5, no, yeah. Dragon a5?
Sorry, you were saying if dragon?
So dragon b7 check,
Mm-hmm.
then king c7.
Does he? So he's got king c7, and you wanna go dragon a5 check.
Yeah.
Okay.
king,
Probably king back.
king c8.
But also remember, he does have after dragon c7. Can he go dragon king to
e8.
e8? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go king to e8. Yeah, we have someone in the chat also asking why not king to e8. So you can do king to e8. Yeah, I don't see any what the follow-up would be after that. Yeah, so I think he's gonna go king to e8. I think king to c7 exposes him a little bit too much. So the score here as well, I think his sneaky weasel is up 1 point. Yeah, I think that is the logical. Yeah, so putting more pressure on that pin piece, possibly. So what are they going to go into perpetual? Not perpetual, because that wasn't check. But I mean, are they going to...
Repetition.
Alright. Thank you, Adrian de Waal. Thanks for joining. Have a good weekend. So I think is Luto maybe happy with a draw in this position. Of course, Ben seems to be wanting to play for the win. I think he's got the initiative over here. But I mean, what would the follow-ups be? Because of course you've got to deliver checks, and otherwise the queen is going to drop unless you plan on moving your queen first.
Yeah, I don't. Why not just move queen?
Yeah.
Just a random question, Lauren. Is it also like freezing cold in Cape Town?
Yes, it is. I actually have a really thick coat next to me. I don't have it on right now. I was going to put gloves on, but then it's a little bit difficult to work with all the gadgets. So, yeah. Joburg also the same?
Freezing cold. I see.
Yeah, no, there's no wind today, funny enough. And I'm in Cape Town. So... yeah, that's interesting to note. Yeah, so we are looking at, yeah, that dragon's going to be pinned. Thank you there, Ali. We do have queen going here, then the king will have to go there. Queen, check, but I suppose, the knight of everything is pinned.
I was thinking, dragon c7 check, right? King e8. Then you just bring your rook to b1, threatening rook b8 because that dragon bishop on d7 is pinned.
That's also, I think there's so many threats going on here. So I think the square on c7 is quite hot. Is there any defense for, I suppose, dragon to c6, would that be a defense?
Dragon c6, then what happens if dragon can't take e7 because the dragon drops back?
Oops, was that me? Was that him? Oh, that was him. Okay, so he opted for that. Okay, so he saw that was the only way to go. But I think it was quite interesting if you had to look at dragon c6 as well. But he definitely needed to block those threats. So we've got but a dragon and a knight for a queen is also not the worst in the world. Ah, I see. Okay, d5. D5 could have pushed that dragon away. So bringing more pieces in, does he maybe want to go to the 7th rank?
Is this the only game currently running?
They were the ones that started late, but we can see if there's another one running. Just to refresh this. Yeah, they're the only ones going. I think the next one it should start in the next 10 minutes or so. So the next one starts at 11, which is 10 minutes. So some players have indicated that they are doing coffee breaks, and with the load shedding, some of them are doing coffee breaks with the water on the gas stove. So we need to just bear with them for a moment. Let's see. And then of course some of the players are also observing the last game going on. Thank you, Mapungubwe. Thank you. Thank you for also helping out with the analysis. It definitely does help. I suppose there's so many creative ideas, but also the tactics are extremely important. I'm looking at maybe something like just pushing the pawns up here on the board, maybe something like d5.
I was looking at that, but then you're giving that e5 square to black for the dragon and the knight.
I suppose it could be pinned. Whatever you put there, you can maybe pin with a rook. I don't know, that would just be an idea for me to just push the pawns up. Because I think black has enough defense to defend the mate with the rook and the queen. So I would add some pawns to also just make that net around the king a bit tighter.
But I also like your idea of the rook entering the 7th rank, so like rook b7. I don't know, then queen d5. I don't know. Just bring in the rook.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think white has most of the play over here. But I'm also not sure if we're not missing anything for black, because after rook to b7, is Luto going to move that dragon? Because if you move the dragon, the knight is going to be hanging, of course.
Pardon, rook b7 and knight a5.
Ah ha 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 ha! Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, that was my idea though. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think both of these are interesting ideas. But you can see Ben is definitely using his time to try and come up with a plan. He's not looking for, one movers or anything like that. He's definitely trying to find a plan, because I think he also feels that he's got the initiative. So there he goes. He goes for that d5. Yeah, so he's got, like you said, he's going to make use of that square. Do you see something?
Rook b8 check.
Oh, I see.
Takes, then queen check, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but you still... No, yeah, then it's better actually. No, it's rook and...
Then we can switch on the engines, right?
Once yeah, rook and knight versus queen then, which isn't... So
But now he's threatening knight rook b8 check, eh? Because that dragon is no longer looking at that square.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just I don't know if you know, you don't want to give black enough time to recoup all his pieces, because then he's also going to have a lot of play. I think rook c8 possibly is coming up,
Rook c8.
just to liven up
Yeah.
that rook a bit that's been sleeping for a while. But the sneaky weasel's trying to keep the king in the center. I don't know if Luther was trying to go for to find some shelter, but yeah, because I think if you're going to exchange the queen for the dragon and the knight, I think white should be winning the endgame. Because I'm imagining queen takes yeah, queen takes dragon, knight takes, rook takes, and then I suppose these two connected pass pawns should be enough. Yeah, so we have Ben also there on 2 points. So who do we have 2-0? We have Ben on 2-0, we have Fire Bullet on 2-0, so that's Van Rensburg. We have Kenny on 2-0 as well. So these are the guys that are leading their well, that have won their matches essentially. The others all have equaled each other. So we have 1-1 with Rojito. We have oh, and Early W. I think Early W was the other one that also has 2-0. So that's quite interesting. But we have no draws, which is amazing. I must say the tactic that we've been seeing the most of, that players have been falling prey to, is the discovered dragon. So a lot of the top players falling prey to that discovered attack with a dragon, and in fact dropping a queen.
Yeah, I think before tournaments there should be like a 5-minute warm-up session, just for them to just quickly brush up on that last-minute tactics.
I think the players should be doing that throughout the week as well. But I do think that in fact leaves room for someone to write a book. They can compile all of these tactics and actually compile them and put them into a book, and like, you know, one move checkmate or one move discover attack, or, you know, start it from scratch, because you've got so many of those books in your standard chess, you know, to study your tactics, what the combinations are. So I think if you have a combination book in Paradigm Chess, that would be helpful.
Okay, so does that leave round 3 that's going to be starting at 11?
In about 1 minute we have round 3 coming up, yes. So we do have other players as well in the world playing. Let's see where these guys are from. I'm just gonna go check them out. I mean, why not? So I have somebody from Italy playing. Let's see what's happening here. Vietnam, we have somebody from Italy and Vietnam. So I think it's going viral, hey? People across the world are playing. And I think these top guys also, even from the US, there's somebody from the US. And then let's see, this person over here is from Indonesia. So there's people playing from all over the world, which is extremely exciting. I think this variant is going to take flame. Quite interesting. Let's have a look at the leaderboard as well. I'm not sure if you can see the leaderboard, but we have most of our players that's on this leaderboard. playing. So the leaderboard is Dragon B70, we have Ngusho, which is Watu, we have Fire Bullet, which is Ryan, Coach Craig, so Ben Hercules, Manyasta. So we definitely have the cream of the crop at this tournament over here. Yes, nobody that's not in the top 20 that's probably playing this tournament.
So who is currently the leader of Paradigm 30?
Dragon B70. So he was the champion of the previous match that we were speaking about earlier. So I think we do have the next round starting. So this is exciting. This match actually has Ali W versus the Sneaky Weasel, and they are both on 2 points. So this game is going to be fire. And the Sneaky Weasel just came off of playing a game. So he hasn't had much of a break.
So are they starting now?
Yeah, they're starting now at 11 o'clock. So let's see how many other games have started. I think they all should be about starting. There we go. We got some players starting their games. So I'm just going to open them all up so that we can have them. Or did we just open Fire Bullet?
Yeah.
And then we do have Ali W. We have, let's open Coach Craig and Manyasta. We have Ray-Bans also playing now. Let's see. Seaside. Oh, sometimes these things are always jumping around, so then trying to catch the game is a little bit tough. Let me just count how many games there are. I think these two just restarted the game, possibly maybe wrong color or wrong time control. Let's see if we can find them again. Lalder and Luto we don't have yet. So Lalder and Luto, I must say, they've got high rapid ratings, which means they've been playing rapid quite a bit. Probably the highest rapid ratings that I've seen so far. I think they're struggling with their colors, I think, or with they went into a 3 minutes and 2 second game. Oh, that's why the ratings are so high, because they're playing the usual. I think they forgot to change that. So let me see who I have. I have Fire Bullet, Craig, nobody there. Fire Bullet, Craig, Seaside, Dynamic Duo, Ali W. Chess Heroes and South African Goat. One, two, three, four, five, six games going, and we have 6 boards open. So let's start on the side. Alright, so Fire Bullet and Sanisha, so that's Ryan van Rensburg versus Donovan van der Heever, and Fire Bullet is on 2 points at this stage, and Donovan is he on 1 point? Yes, I think him and Showan drew their match 1-1. So is that just the pawn in the center that's gone?
Yeah, you know, I get pawn sacrifices in openings in like classical chess, because you know you're playing for advantage or tempos. I don't think it's as effective in Paradigm Chess30, eh? Okay, I don't play that often, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Now, I think you'd be surprised. There are some players that sway by gambits, but I think it's also when it's intentional, and then I think it's beneficial. But sometimes I think these pawn drums are in the center. I don't know if that one was intentional. But then again, these players are extremely sharp players. So it will be quite interesting to see if he did do it for any kind of compensation. We can see how that's going to go, but at least we see what they are starting out with. Let's see what Manyasta and Coach Craig are starting out with. So do we have a pin over there? That knight looks pinned, right?
Oh, and the game just started.
Yeah, but I think he's just holding off on that because black is a knight down, so he's just holding off on taking that piece back. He's probably gonna pin that pawn. Probably just try to get it in the center over there, get it back.
Rook e1.
Probably rook e1. Look at rook e1, but it looks good. I wonder if we're gonna have opposite side castling here.
Oh, I love opposite side castling.
Yeah,
It's so exciting.
definitely. I suppose Paradigm Chess30 as a whole is a little bit exciting.
Yeah.
But when it's opposite side castling as well, even more so. And now what you can find in, I don't know if it's going to happen in this game, but what you often find is that knight outpost. So if this white knight goes to somewhere like e5, that can be quite annoying for black.
Knight e5. I mean, you always say, oh, but you don't want to go f6 really, chasing it away.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the way he follows up. Yeah, so he goes rook e1, like you pointed out earlier, which would be nice.
But now you can just castle, eh? I think castling makes sense.
Yeah. It's about whose pieces are going to be the fastest, I suppose. Yeah, I would imagine it'd go something like this. So now we do have that knight outpost that can look quite strongly, but we do have the black pawns that are far advanced in the center and that are actually defended as well. So this is going to be quite the exciting game.
Dragon
Sorry.
g5. Dragon g5. Oh, it doesn't really do much, eh?
Dragon g5 attacking the queen, I suppose. And then I suppose you can be looking at that f7 square, because after dragon g5 you could possibly have your knight going to e5 and maybe you know, just move the queen out of the way so that the rook can actually come stand on f1, so even queen here, something like that. I suppose this can be a bit tricky because you're going to allow the development of pieces here, but I mean essentially bringing the rook over. I think that could be an overall plan for white. I think that g5 is a nice one. Yeah, dragon g5, there you go.
Maybe I should be the author of the books.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but what I saw about dragon g5, like, yeah, you move the queen away and then the f7 square, but I mean, it's easy for black to defend, you know, you can just bring your dragon to e6 or your knight to f7.
Yeah.
It is well protected, but it's just good development for the pieces.
Definitely. I suppose activity as well, eh? And that's what this variant is all about. It's piece activity. So let's see, is there anybody else that we haven't looked at yet? Let's go to Rajito and the Seaside Sunset. So we still have a king in the center over here for Rajito, and Seaside Sunset has committed to castling kingside.
Is he planning F5? I don't know.
Spiking, I suppose.
Or maybe just development of the queen so he can also castle.
Yeah, so I suppose it's black saying, you know what, I think I've got the center under control. It's not closed, but I mean it's a little bit stable, and he's just going for the king.
Could be yeah, that could explain the h4.
Yeah.
And I mean it's not going to take black long, maybe if the king is exposed or the king side's open, just to go king d7, king c8. Because that
artificial castling. But also, yeah, as white, do you just ignore that pawn on h4, or do you push past? Oh, I suppose you bring the king up and ignore the pawn, yes.
Yeah.
He's going to uncastle himself. So he's boxing that dragon in as well. This is quite interesting. It's not as open as an explosive, but I think this might be a slower squeeze kind of game. I'm not sure in whose favor it's going to run. I think there's definitely a lot of play for both sides.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anybody else that we haven't had a look at yet. Okay, shall we? Who do you want to have a look at? I've got showy and dynamic duo.
Okay, let me open that.
I mean, both of these players are surprising always. They're always surprising us with something. So I think this matchup would be interesting.
And their score is?
So showy played Donovan, so he's got 1. I think that match was 1-1. And dynamic duo, I think he lost both of his games.
I think this is a bit of a tricky one. It's because the rook on b1 is attacking the dragon, right? But the dragon is defending the rook on a4. So are you going to give up your rook or your dragon?
Now, but I suppose you can go dragon to c5, eh?
Dragon c5. Dragon c5, okay.
Yeah, so if you're going to go dragon to c5, you're still defending your rook on yeah, I was also looking at that rook takes pawn because that knight is pinned, of course. You take my dragon, I take your dragon, but I got a pawn out of it. So I do think black is slightly better over here. Yeah, I would also even think after rook takes dragon, black has the luxury of taking back dragon takes rook, because both of his dragons will still be under attack.
Yeah.
And then he will still be able to maintain the pin on the knight.
Oh, spinned.
Did you think he was sacrificing?
I did. You know, they're always sacrificing from the games that I've seen. Sacrificing pawns, exchanges. But I see it's actually pin.
Yeah. So I think pins and discovered attacks is the order of the day over here. Pins, I think most people are aware of, but discovered attacks come as a surprise, as it used to back in the day when it was first invented. Yeah, the spin is so annoying, eh? And even this pawn that's so far advanced, the black pawn that's so far advanced.
Yeah, but how do you can't prevent yourself from giving up a dragon here.
No, you
Because he's
must.
gonna take
Yeah.
one of them.
So, this is just thinking off the top of my head. I have not analyzed it. Dragon takes knight is not on. Hey, dragon takes knight. Because you still be attacking his other dragon. And...
You mean for white? White takes f6.
yeah, I'm just thinking because then after rook takes dragon. But the problem is that when the dragon takes the rook back, that knight is still pinned. And you can't take the rook on c4. That's the problem.
And you can't even play rook takes dragon because the other dragon on c8
That's
just replaces it.
So I think we're going to come back to see how Justin handled this one. It seems like he's going to take some time looking at that. But let's look at Fire Bullet and Sanisha. Okay, so are they just gonna, if they exchange dragons over here, then it's just gonna be a normal chess game, and I think black is a pawn up here.
Okay, that's pretty simple then.
Yeah, simple to analyze, I think, but I suppose they both want to win, so hopefully they don't just try to settle for a draw. Alright, so I hear something going to do. Sneaky Weasel and Ali. What happened here? Okay, let's go a few moves back. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so they're both castled queen side over here. And black definitely looks like he was the one that was pressing. Opening up. Advancing. I mean, was that essential? Rook takes knight. Okay, so he played rook takes knight, dragon takes. Oh. So this is. Did he just resign because of the exchange down? Am I missing something?
It looks like it. The last move was king b8. And white resigned.
That's right.
Sure.
So that puts Sneaky Weasel on 3 out of 3, and then Ali is on 2 out of 3. So then Sneaky Weasel is done for the day, and I think he can be extremely happy with his results. We have another result over here. So this is the game we were looking at just now, right? So let's see, what did Justin do? I think he just moved the king out of the way. Okay. So he moved his rook, his dragon bishop out of the way. So I lost that one.
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah. I suppose he didn't want to have 2 dragons versus... But I didn't want to have 2 dragons versus 2 rooks, I suppose. I think Justin is having a slow start, a very, very slow start today. Tough start today, but that put Showan on 2 points, and Justin has yet to put a score on the board. Okay, so let's see, I think we've had a look at this one. Let's move on to the Sminyasta and Coach Craig game. Also, the queen did end up going to c4, and the knight is there in the center as well. And the king has castled. So opposite side castling, Megan, for you. There you go.
Exciting.
Yeah, these games are always so complex.
And the score between them two is 1-1.
No. So this is a new leg of a new match. This is the third round of the day. So they had the double round robin with their first opponents, and now they have the next opponents with a double round robin. So this is the first game today, and tomorrow will be the second game of this match.
You know, I'm still lingering on Fire Bullet's game. Just seeing if they're gonna exchange the Dragon Bishops and go into a normal standard game with Black being a pawn up, but they have not moved.
I suppose the time is now equal, right?
Yeah, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. Okay, but yeah, we can go back to Coach Craig and then just analyze that game as well.
Yeah, and then after that we can go to some other games as well. I think Seaside Sunset is also still playing. Kenny still playing.
Okay.
Some interesting games. So I suppose it's going to be who's the quickest over here in this game.
Well, I mean, White doesn't have that luxury of taking too long. He's down to 3 minutes.
And I think that's one of the strengths of this Charlton Minyasta. I've seen it in his previous games as well, where he's actually so far ahead on the clock, and that goes for his standard chess as well. I've seen him at tournaments, and he's always so far ahead on the clock. Alright, let's move to some of the guys we haven't been watching for a while. So Chess Heroes and South African Goat. So Chess Heroes is Andrew Horn, and then we have South African Goat, who's Kenny. So Chess Heroes has only played one game for the day, so this is his second game. Him and Watu will have to pick up the game that they missed out on. I think there was some load shedding. They're going to pick up on that game a bit later. But I think Kenny's on 2 out of 2. So he's having a good morning. Yeah.
Oh, I like this game. 2 dragons versus a rook and a rook. And
yeah.
A rook.
Yeah. So I think Andrew Horn is having a slow start this morning. Yeah, so I think he's just material down.
Where does his queen go? Where does his queen go? Am I missing something? Can they be trapped by any chance? Eventually.
Yeah, but I don't think it's under attack at the moment. He plays yeah, it's interesting because what are you going to take back here, with a dragon or the knight? With a knight? Don't have to take back.
If you take with a knight, then rook takes f2. Must you play dragon
knight takes? You can play knight takes queen.
Knight takes.
No, but then the dragon. Yeah, he plays dragon takes. And now I suppose if he plays rook takes dragon. Yeah, knight takes rook because the knight comes back for the. You can even play dragon takes queen after rook takes queen. Dragon takes queen, check. So if rook takes queen and
because you still
dragon takes queen, and then you pick the rook up, then you should just clearly be winning. I think white is just clearly winning,
so
and I
clear.
think I think that's going to put Kenny on 3 points.
So that's actually really good, full score.
Yeah, so we've got
him and Ben.
That's right. Yes. Seaside Sunset and Rojito. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, this dragon bishop is still in the corner after Rojito marched his pawn down on the side of the board on the king's side. The dragon is still in the corner, but of course playing a move like f4 will free him up a bit. But I suppose let's look what's happening overall.
So it looks quite cramped on white side though, eh?
Is white a piece down? I see a rook missing.
Two dragon.
I think white. Oh, a knight for the rook, I suppose.
Yeah, knight for rook.
Yeah, I suppose he's gonna have to look at something like f4 at some stage just to get that the dragon out. Is that yeah, he must play f4 because then after rook takes knight he can at least play dragon takes pawn, free the dragon up a bit.
Dragon take, yeah, dragon takes.
Also this rook in the center will have less defense if he's going to go for the knight. So I think that f4 move frees white up quite a bit. But yeah, he is looking at this pawn. I hear somebody else is done. Yeah, no, that was a Kenny game and we said he was going to win that one,
yeah.
eh?
What if in this case just f5, protecting that rook and then you're attacking the knight? Oh. Wait, is this the same game?
No, sorry, I just switched over just to make sure that it was Kenny that won. So you're saying f5 at this moment?
Yeah, because I obviously want to play rook takes knight, but I guess after f5, even though you're protecting that rook, the knight just jumps on. No, yeah, then the knight is under attack.
Yeah, but then you could play dragon takes c6, remember?
Dragon?
The dragon that's on h1.
Oh,
yeah.
Playing c5, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I think c5 is a nice move. Because now you don't have to worry about this rook.
Yeah.
Alright. Just need to make sure we're not missing out on any games here. I wonder, are there some... We are covering all the games. Let's just double check if... Luto and Lalder. We haven't had a look at that. I think they started a bit late. Okay, so let's just see what's happening. Yeah, I haven't seen it like from the beginning, so let's see.
Okay, so Lalder's white. No, black.
Yeah, so I think they both haven't put scores on the board yet for the day. So it will be good to see who comes through.
Okay, so Lalder is a dragon down, but a rook up.
So, like, but what's the pawns looking like?
2, 6, 2, 4. Okay, a rook and 2 pawns for the dragon, which isn't bad.
Yeah, so essentially we've got that pawn up. But can rook not check now? Does rook not check on g1? Rook g1 check looks like it's a real check. You know, and that queen, the queen behind it. So I mean that your skewer, right?
Okay, the queen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what he does. Yeah, I was thinking of the long way, pushing my h-pawn, queening.
I feel like you could still do that, eh? After you pick up the queen, you could still push your h pawn. So I
Yeah.
would go for that. I think that is a good plan. Um, yeah. Let's see. So it's a dragon for the queen now.
Yeah. Now you go knight g3, pinning that dragon and picking up the other and picking up that dragon.
Yeah, the dragon is definitely pinned. So knight g3 I think is good because you're putting pressure on that pin piece.
So if knight g3, can white then go e4? And then would you take queen takes, dragon, dragon takes, knight takes, and you kind of got the two dragons.
Well, he went knight g3. So that happened. So we're going to have to find out. I'm just looking if there's no other moves, no in-between moves, nothing. Yeah, so he's going there. So would queen takes, knight takes. I think that's... Because look, that white knight is out of the game. But also, can't you just keep the pin by moving the queen away? And just picking up the dragon clean, like moving queen... Okay, he takes it.
You actually could do that also, yes. But
But
maybe
I mean,
once
you
the
just... aren't you just a dragon up now?
yeah.
Black is just a dragon up, so I mean, this should be fine. I mean, more than fine.
Yeah. Oh, and then the black king can obviously just like e7 and then the rook switch.
Yeah,
over
activate the rook,
to
and I
active.
think...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think black should definitely win this one.
Yeah.
I just want to see if there's no games that we are missing. Okay. Okay, so yeah, they've got down to the last few seconds for Donny. Donny versus Fire Bullet. Also, this was the game we were wondering whether they were going to exchange dragons, eh? And it seems that they didn't.
Yeah, I think black dropped back to a6 and then it was quite interesting. The white fire bullet brought his queen over to the king side, picked up g7, h6. Not sure why. So now I think he's a pawn up, 246. Yeah, he's a pawn up.
Yeah. And 4 minutes up, so I mean, that also counts a lot. Let's just see who we have playing. So we have Fire Bullet playing. We still have Manyasta playing. So much time up, and there's this rook pawn ending. Let's see, it's equal pawns, but that white king is a lot more active. But again, the time is a real factor. But a lot of these rook pawn endings end up in a draw. But I wonder if this active king is enough for white.
Should be.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're looking at, yeah, he has to do something like that.
Yeah, I think white should win this one.
So are we gonna push c4 here? I don't know. What do you? I think you're gonna.
Yeah, because I mean, that pawn isn't gonna. The rook is tied down.
And there's no checks. You can't move away with a check.
Yeah.
So I
Just
think.
do c4 and run.
Yeah, I would do that definitely. Yeah, but this is the thing about watching Craig's game. I always Like my heart always stops because his time is always so low and he never moves fast.
Oh, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
This should be really simple, though. I don't see any like counterplay for black in any way, so there we go. Should be simple.
Yeah.
And the black king can't even cross over because of the rook covering the e file.
Yeah. We do have a result there with Lalder and Luto. Like we said, he was just a dragon up, and he ended up winning that game. Yeah, just a dragon up. And there's not really anything there for Luto there. So and this fire, let's see how many games we have. So we have Fire Bullet against Sanisha, Manyasta against Craig. That game's done. And then we also have this Rojito and Seaside Sunset also left. So I'm going to leave that one for last, and then look at the games with a little less time. I just have one of the players calling me quickly, but Megan, can you just keep an eye on this game?
Sure, yeah. Definitely looks like they are pressed for time. After king f8, I was just looking at, but it's not check, I was looking at dragon h7, but that wouldn't, no, that is check with the rook, and then you pick up that rook. But then dragon takes f1, so it's maybe not the best.
No problem. Bye-bye. Hi, so what did I miss?
I was just trying to figure out whether that white could make use of the discovery check, but I just see that the dragon on a6 is aiming for the
oh,
rook on
I see.
f1.
But I suppose you could have had a double check there, dragon to a or h7.
Oh, that was check then.
Yeah.
I keep getting confused. I told myself it's not check because the rook is on g8, but it should be on g7. No, that would have worked. Okay, but this is also still winning for white.
Yeah, so Craig managed to win that game. Whoa, the rook went missing. Oh no, I think he maybe had a mouse slip. Manyasta, I think that's a mouse slip over there. I think he just put the piece. And you know, it's quite interesting because he's got so much time. You'd expect the mouse slip to come from the one with less time.
There's another score in with Fire Bullet.
Yeah, so that was the one. Yeah. Yeah. So that puts Fire Bullet, I think, also on full score for the day. So we've got a few full scores for the day. We've got, I think, Kenya has 3, Fire Bullet, and the Sneaky Weasel. I think Ben Hercules also has 3 for the day.
Are there any games running still?
Let me just double check. Yes, we do have Rojito. Oh, so this is interesting. A queen and a queen versus a dragon and a rook. So a dragon and a rook should technically be winning, right?
Should be.
You don't sound so confident in.
And I don't play enough. In my mind, it's still like a rook and a bishop versus queen, which also isn't too bad. But
yeah, but I mean 6 plus 5 is more than 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually hope this game doesn't end immediately because I am currently locked in the streaming room because they don't want Katie to come bother me. So I don't know how long they're going to leave me in here. And then I'll have no one to talk to.
I think we should introduce the youngest paradigm chess player at some point.
I think so. Maybe tomorrow. I think maybe tomorrow we can have her analyze. She actually does enjoy analyzing the games. But she's very upset when Craig doesn't make the moves that she points out. And then what she will do is she'll point on the screen where he should go, and then he doesn't go there. Then she takes the mouse and plays the move. So
wow.
yeah.
Taking initiative.
Yeah, so I separated them for the tournament because somebody might complain that Craig has a 4-year-old engine with him while he's playing. So yeah, no. So she enjoys it. She enjoys watching. So maybe I'll have her on at some point. But she might not want to leave, so that might be a problem. So yeah, let's see. I think the queen is gonna dance around a bit. But I think black should be winning this one. And the time is also more or less equal.
And what's the score between them two?
So this is also their first match. So Rojito...
was they delaying?
No, remember they played a double round robin with a previous opponent. So this is the third match. So this is their next opponent.
Okay.
I just have to double check the schedule if... How many games they are playing. Just want to check. Yeah, so today this is the last one for today. Just double checking that I didn't send people on their merry way to have a wonderful Saturday, but they still have another round left.
Oh.
So yeah, this is the third game of the day, and then this will conclude today's round, or today's matches. Tomorrow they will complete the double round robin or the double game match with this opponent with their first round, and then they'll have the last opponent 2 rounds to go, and then the preliminaries will be complete. I think we will then have tie breaks also at some point if we do have tie breaks. Let me see the tie breaks. Yeah, if there are tie breaks, they will also happen tomorrow, so that we can just establish who will be going through to next weekend's quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals.
Right, and what's nice is next weekend I can possibly stream right next to you.
Oh, you're coming to Cape Town. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things happening in May. No, so that's...
And then when is the finals? The week thereafter, or the semi-finals?
No. So then the finals, the quarterfinals will be on Saturday. If there are tie breaks, they will be played after that. And then on Saturday we'll have the semi-finals, the first half of the semi-finals, and then on Sunday we'll have the second half of the semi-finals and finals as well. And then yeah, just so that we're watching all these players, but what are they playing for? I think I just want to point out that the first place is 500 USD for this tournament, second is 400 USD, third and fourth are 300 and 200 USD. So that's quite the prize money to be playing for.
Definitely. Okay, so in this game it just looks like white is just bouncing around for checks. There's not really much else he can do since there's no support from other pieces, and the pawns also can't really move.
Oops. Yeah, so I don't know what strategy we'd have here for black.
For black, maybe G5. G5?
Yeah, I think
trying to open up more space.
Yeah.
For the picture.
I think we do have that catch-up game that Watu and Andrew are supposed to play. They just started their game. So they missed their first round because of load shedding. So now we have the second game that they are playing. And the score at the moment is Watu has 1 and Andrew has 0 in this match. So Andrew's extending in the center. And this is interesting because Waters played against a lot of these kind of positions in the match that he had with Dragon B70.
Yeah, I'm not so fond of dragon bishops coming out so early in the game, because like it gets attacked, knights will easily exchange for the dragon bishops out. We just like wait a little bit.
So you treat him like a queen, don't bring your queens out too
Yeah.
early. You say don't bring your dragons out too early.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So you say you're going to write the first combinations book and the first strategy book for Paradigm.
Which one's easier?
I feel like the combinations one is less controversial because they can't tell you no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
With the strategies, they can be like, no, that's not true.
Like, I don't know if you remember those puzzle books where you start with the simple ones like back rank mates making.
Yeah.
Where it's like the first 99 of them. I think I can do that for Paradigm.
I think
if you
should.
H5, you can get discovered with the queen and the king check, the basic ones.
Yeah, and I mean you're finding all of these like putting pressure on the pin and those kind of things. So I feel like you should look into that. Go into the archives and just snap the combinations, and then you compile a book. So Andrew definitely looking like the aggressor on this side, but I think tables can turn quite easily in Paradigm. Yeah.
Maybe for white, I would definitely say queenside castle.
Yeah. I just want to see where that other game is that was still going. They're still going. Let's look at the last few seconds of this game. No, black should definitely be winning this, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's see what happens in the last few seconds.
Wait, can you go back just to see how he picked up all of those pawns?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we stopped watching from somewhere from here, right? It's like somewhere here.
Yeah, I think over here, yeah.
Yeah, so he's just, like you say, Queen was just bouncing around, trying to find his way. But the problem is that everything is just so well, like, protected.
Yeah.
The dragon defends the pawn defends the rook. Okay, at the moment nothing's defending the dragon, but the king was defending the dragon. So it's difficult to kind of pick up something with a queen, with a double attack. So he pushed this pawn. I suppose he's going to drop a pawn either way. So yeah, he's just dropping all these pawns. I don't think he's got a choice really.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, even if white's dropping all the pawns, then it's definitely a win for black.
Yeah. But I'm always telling the youngsters, the students that I see, don't resign, don't trust that your opponent is going to checkmate you. What if you can get a stalemate? But I don't think it applies here.
I mean, it's good motivation, but yeah, I don't think it applies here.
Yeah, there's just way too much here. So I think we can move on to that Watu game. So black also in fact castled queenside. I think white feels quite safe in the center because the center is so locked and he's just going to go ahead and start attacking on the queen side. For me, I think a lot of these players, they play quite quickly in the beginning. For me, on the other hand, I would probably take a little bit more time in the beginning, because the positions are shuffled, and ultimately, you're going to put your pieces and pawns in such a manner that it shapes the rest of the game. But these guys just go right into it.
Yeah, maybe they go on like gut feeling, like this feels right, and then when it like sets in, and it's like, okay, what now?
Yeah, it's like, okay, let's play from this position.
Yeah.
I suppose that's where the future books are going to come in, with the general opening strategies. Like, do you put your knights on, on the third rank? Do you make gaps for them on the second rank? Do you bring your dragons out? Don't you bring your dragons out? Do you advance your pawns? Don't you? So I think that's going to be quite something when it does come out eventually. So that knight is looking at c3. Does white now have to go knight to a2? Yeah, probably, because otherwise that knight fork is pretty dangerous.
Wait, am I looking at knight c3? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And I suppose somebody else is analyzing here, which is quite cool. But of course, yes, the chess heroes is going to have to stop that knight going to c4, but now c5 is also a nice square for white to go to. And I think that's the trouble with pushing all of these pawns. You're just creating all of these squares for the knights, and I'm telling you, the value of a outpost square for the knight, I think, has increased in Paradigm.
Yeah. What about, like for that b5 move, like knight b3, and then you go fork that knight on c5?
Especially now with this knight exchanging, I would definitely exchange that knight. So what is he gonna go? Yeah. Ew. So I think this is now strengthening this diagonal that black has.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because even if knight goes to c5, is this dragon bishop moving in yet? It just looks invasive. But of course, this dragon bishop is under attack. Yes, yeah. So, but he dropped a pawn. Let's see. But even this knight going here, I mean, I just feel like it's so invasive. It's just like in white space.
Oh, knight f3 is also quite nice.
Okay, but he seems to like his knight there in the center. But again, these players are playing so fast. I think there's so much time that can be utilized.
Is that dragon bishop attacking anything? No, eh?
Which?
On c6.
No, not that I'm aware of. Nothing that he's able to take. I don't think he's going to take any of the pawns that he's aiming at. But I think maybe he's also just trying to solidify the knight in the center.
Yeah, I would just play knight c5, and then maybe even consider opening up that a file.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to neutralize that dragon bishop. Because I think if all the action fizzles out, and the less pieces there are, I think the better it might be for Watu, because then he is that pawn up after all, and I think that pawn on d4 is probably going to be a little bit of a weakness at the end, if you can get to it as white. That's quite interesting. Doesn't that lose another pawn? Surely dragon takes, pawn takes, and dragon takes.
But then queen takes g3. I mean, Takes that, yeah.
Yeah, that is check.
But you can just drop back. No, dragon F2. Okay,
Mm.
but I mean, you still got that pawn though.
Yeah. And then you're gonna, that pawn is now all of a sudden a pass pawn.
Yeah.
That G pawn. Yeah, so what has some decisions to make.
I mean, I don't think. Oh, but you don't have to take. I guess you can just move the queen, which I think would be better. Like you can even go queen E2, threatening bishop take. Dragon takes because if pawn takes, you can take with queen.
Yeah. You could actually, this is quite interesting. I don't know if there's any other piece that can do it, but the king could actually be pinned, eh? Like if you had to put that king on e2, that king would technically be pinned, because if the king moves away, he loses the queen.
The queen. So that's the first, eh? The king.
Yeah, you can actually pin the king without it being in danger, because of course when you like pin a king, it's like a skewer kind of thing. But over here, the king could actually be pinned.
But king e2 is actually quite a nice move. It gives the queen choices, you know, be on the king side or be on the queen side. Could that kind of like classify as like a Karpov move? You just go king e2, just waiting.
Like prophylaxis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's extremely prophylactic because, yeah, I don't know if it falls under that category. But I guess it could be because you're just trying to see what your opponent wants to do. But I think Batu's definitely also thinking about his plan.
Yeah.
What he wants to be doing going forward. There's your move, queen e2.
So that kind of forces black to either take one of them or retreat.
Yeah.
Which I think just taking one would be better.
It would be nice if white could get this rook on h1 over to the queen side somehow, and then, you know, push these pawns on the queen side.
Why not just castle?
I'm looking if castling is a viable option actually.
Yeah, I don't see anything because like that bishop on c6 aiming to h1 can't really do anything because the center is kind of locked. Like you're not going to move those pawns.
You know, I'm thinking of these players as mostly like Joburg versus Cape Town almost. So I think it's fitting that we have a Joburg and Cape Town commentating.
That is quite cool.
Yeah, so they took one. So I suppose if you take with a king, yeah, it's not so bad because then the other rook comes into play.
Can come in.
But yeah. I wonder if Watu's going to to keep his king in the center or castle at all?
I don't see any dangers on the king side. I see more dangers in the center, actually. But let's see what he does. Because I would also want to eventually push those center pawns, and I obviously can't do it if my king is full.
I'm just so badly wanting to push c4. But not at the moment. I want to, prepare to bring my other rook and then push c4.
Yeah, but I mean, if your plan is c4, then castle. Just get the king away.
Yeah. But also just pushing these pawns, it just creates weaknesses as well. Like if I go c4 and black decides to take the pawn, and then all of a sudden you're able to attack the back of my pawn chain on d3, and then this becomes a weakness. All of a sudden this diagonal, oops, that's not a diagonal, but this diagonal is menacing for black. So Watu just seems to want to simplify.
And now he wants to, exchanging of queens. Imagine having all 8 pawns still on the board.
You don't even have to imagine. It's like I didn't even realize.
It's rhetorical.
I know, but I am so shocked. I'm like, oh my word, I don't even have to imagine. It's like, it's there. But I think it's going to change now. I think your timing was great.
Yeah.
Would you be happier with black or white here?
I would say white. I don't know, white just looks more comfortable. I like that g5 and g4 and h5. Like white can just go king e2, double up, and the king is closer to the pawns that are further pushed down. I don't know, it just looks better.
Yeah, like black has more weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you would be tying down his rooks there to that h pawn if you did.
And then the king can just waltz on the queen side, like c3. Not c3 immediately, but kind of.
Okay, so but he decides to let go of that pawn and to drop his rook back. Is there anything wrong with a rook takes pawn at the moment? Yeah, rook takes pawn. I think he just...
Yeah, that's there's no trap set or anything.
I don't know what the compensation is. Because now even that rook is bound to that pawn on this g pawn over here.
But why not just rook h6? You can't move the bishop because then your a pawn falls, so you're gonna have to force an exchange.
I think that was a good one. No, you can't go there. Rook to h6 has a normal double attack, yeah. I can't even say it's late or it's early because it's literally midday. Yeah.
It's skipping the 3rd cup of coffee, I'm telling you.
So how many cups of coffee do you have a day?
Probably like 4. I brought it down from 7.
Oh, fantastic. But although Watu is now again a pawn up, is it a pawn right?
Yeah.
He still has to work for it, kind of.
So then, You see, you can't really do anything on the h file, right?
Hmm.
Not really. So why not swing over to the queen side on a1 and then push a4?
I think that can be something to look into. What I was also looking at is why not just, but it depends, Andrew might just take the rook for the dragon, but I was looking at the rook h4.
Rook h, and then you just tie down. You want to tie down the rook?
No, just pick up the pawn. The dragon's not defending.
Oh, you
Remember, the dragon can't jump. Oh, thank you.
I see.
But I mean, Andrew could just maybe take that.
Do you think you will?
Yeah, it's an option. I don't know. He's just gonna lose another pawn. Because let's have a look at it. If dragon takes rook, pawn takes, and maybe you push the pawn.
Dragon takes rook?
Yeah, dragon takes.
Pawn takes. Oh, then you push the G pawn.
Yeah, but dragon can just park here, and then.
Yeah, and the king is close. Oh. Yeah, the king is also close enough.
Yeah, but also you can't. I suppose if the king gets here, you move your dragon out of the way, and then maybe king can come stand and you can push this pawn. But I think that would be a way for black to get play.
I think so. As opposed to just losing pawn slowly but surely.
I think this is like his first think. Like, Andrew hasn't been using a lot of time. So I do think he's considering dragon takes.
Yeah.
Oh, but also remember, after dragon takes, then this pawn is going to be hanging. So even if you... Oh no, but you can't, because if you push here, take the pawn, and push here again, yeah, then dragon just back. Yeah, you can... Yeah. Also, you're going to lose the pawn regardless. So, I don't know, do you want to keep your dragon? You lose the pawn.
I feel like if you keep your dragon and you lose the pawn, it's a slower death.
Ah, but you never know. There could be like dragon forks and you all of a sudden pick up the rook.
Yeah, that's also true. So if, say for example, it was white's play, right? You'd play dragon takes. No. You wouldn't play dragon.
I play rook takes, because dragon takes, you'll just take my dragon.
So, but now look, now check here. If rook takes, then dragon h5. Boom.
Ah.
Now we understand why Andrew's thinking, using more time.
Oh, okay. Now we understand why you must write a tactics book.
Yeah. So, but you can't play dragon takes pawn, because then I think dragon takes rook then, and then you drop your something falls, I think. Isn't it?
What's this?
If dragon takes b4, then dragon takes rook. Pawn takes. Aren't you losing then?
If
you play dragon takes.
And what are you saying? Then dragon takes rook.
Yeah, if dragon takes pawn, dragon takes rook. Then rook takes dragon. Aren't you losing if you play dragon takes pawn?
I would think so. Dragon takes and then dragon takes. Pawn takes. Yeah, you'd be like a piece down, I think, it looks like it. So basically that pawn is poison.
Yeah, I don't think you can take it. Yes, not at least. Yeah, unless you move the king out of the way first or something. But it makes one definitely think twice before moving.
And then maybe the king can go to the queen side like you wanted it to. The queen side play. Dragon takes rook. So he could have technically just left it like that, but I mean, of course, this was the other critical line that we were looking at, but I don't think this is enough for black. Because now just dragon takes pawn on, in the center. And just... Oh, but do you think, this I don't think there's enough weaknesses for black to try and pick up all the other pawns even.
Yeah.
Because now king just comes closer.
Yeah, and then it falls like king f2. And even if king f2, rook takes, king takes, pawn, rook back to g4, picking up the dragon bishop, and then it's just pawns versus king.
Yeah, you're still 2 pawns up.
Yeah.
King g3. Oh, sorry, you can just take the pawn.
Oh yeah, just like g2. Yeah, this should be a clear win for white.
Yeah. But I suppose they gotta still demonstrate some technique.
You 2 pawns up though.
I know. Yeah, just keep the king out and then bring your king eventually closer. You see, black's also gonna run out of moves to keep this king out. Because what's nice is if the king gets here, for example, even if the king is here and it's white's move, white has this move, and then you can start pushing. Yeah, I think that should be fairly easy for white too.
Just king e4, threatening d5. Is d5 fine? Should be.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely resignable. I see my timing was not bad. All right, so
Good game.
then what also won that match 2-0. Um, who did what to play in the second round? I don't quite remember. But we'll then compile that list of the scores and put that up definitely before the round tomorrow. But we do have some players on full score, some players that are yet to put on the scoreboard, and then we have some of them hanging on 2 points and 1 point as well. So I think the preliminaries are definitely something to be keeping an eye on, because we're going to have some people falling out tomorrow, some people busy with tie breaks tomorrow, and just so much excitement before the quarterfinals next week.
Can't wait.
Thank you so much, Megan, for joining us. Are you joining us tomorrow as well?
Yep, I will be here.
Okay, fantastic. I'll see you then. And to those that are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.
Cool. Bye.